like the real beefy bits of the pandemic, the very early days of the pandemic, was I genuinely wished we had had a room where it was like, man, thank goodness we had this empty room. Taffy turned it into a workout station filled with medicine balls and kettlebells and all that jazz, but or garage. I would have turned a garage into that. But we are using every inch of space in this house. Oh, at least I'm sorry to hear. Nothing makes me more miserable than when I have when I lose sleep. Few things make me. I didn't realize this because I used to consider myself an insomniac. So I just kind of, in my late 20s, early 30s, became accustomed to working on very little sleep because I thought that that's just how I was built. I was like, oh, well, I'm just a night owl, so it's normal for me to constantly feel miserable. What Ambien taught me, and I'm sure maybe once I get my blood pressure back under control, I'll learn this about blood pressure as well, is that it's bananas to me how much better my quality of life is when I've got good sleep. Existing doesn't feel painful when I've had sleep. So I definitely, when I see somebody say, I am miserable with sleep deprivation, my heart instantly aches. Abs again, though. Thank you for the tier 2 sub for 28 months. Yeah, I'd love an elliptical machine. Rowers, honestly, rowing until I'm gonna say it as though I'm sure it's going to happen. Until I get fit, until I become fit again. Rowing kind of falls in the same bucket as swimming for me, where I find myself exhausted so fast. And I guess that's good, right? Like, duration doesn't necessarily equal results. But I don't know, I kind of like zoning out for like a half hour or 45 minutes on an elliptical machine. Yes, I want to say when I get fit again. I want to will it into existence. That's it. If you get tired on a rower and stop for 30 seconds, you don't drown. Once upon a time, when I was still in my early 30s, back when I was doing the high voltage cable installation, if it lets you know kind of how hard I went right up until the point I hit my 40s, my 40s and the pandemic, which I've never existed in my 40s outside of the pandemic. Because that's how long this shit's been going on, is that I've only ever known the world in the eyes of the pandemic in my 40s. But in my 30s, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I did a couple of months of low voltage cable installation. And, I was hoping just to get Bookworm out of this place. I used to go so hard, I'd wake up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning and go be on a job site where I pulled cable through an industrial... Motherfucker. Where I pulled cable through an industrial building all day. Get home at 6, eat dinner, and then go to the gym from 6:30 to 8:30 or so. Where I'd go lift weights and then swim for like 25 or 30 minutes. Surprise, surprise, when I decided low voltage cable installation wasn't working for me, and I went back to waiting tables at the same place I'd quit previously, saying I didn't want to wait tables anymore. I came back to wait tables, and the first thing that was said to me is this lovely lesbian couple that met while they were working with each other there. We're still there and we're on shift. And we were always friendly, and so one of the two of them looked up and went like, "Hey Ryan, it's really good to, oh my god, your stomach's flat." And I was like, well, that's, yeah, now, yeah. Now all I can think about is that it wasn't before, but yes, I guess I've been, in the 2 months I've been gone, I've been going about 16 hours a day of manual labor with the exception of stopping for lunch and dinner. So yeah, I used to, I trained very aggressively into my 30s. Shop, I guess? I think, we've already been to the item room on this floor. Would I want shrimp bracelet? I think I'd take shrimp bracelet. That pill was a lucky pickup. I feel like that's trying to tell me that I should use these bombs to potentially open up the second secret room here. That could be the secret room if the map loops to the left. Ah, second secret room. I'll give it a shot. It may not even be. There are so many opportunities for the second secret room to be hiding. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I'm talking so fast that I'm gulping air. Oh, god damn it. I looked up for 1 second. I was sort of daydreaming about which familiar I would want. Succubus would be great. Incubus would be great. Had a feeling. It's not there. I kind of want this key. Maybe there. If I don't get this, I'll go get a key. There we go. Now I'm gonna go get shrimp bracelet. And I think I'm gonna get my guaranteed key. Is there money in fire? Sometimes. Sometimes there is. I was hoping for a crawl space. That'd have been cool. Yeah, swimming's so cool. I wish I didn't have quite as many body image issues as I do. I would like to engage in more swimming. Part of the reason I'd like to lose weight before this summer is because I'd like at least one more summer of being able to take my boys to the swimming pool and not just be the dad who's waiting around in a long sleeve shirt. Oh, Hods, thank you. That's kind of you to say. I think we'll do that. I think we'll just go. I never realized how tiring swimming is in the ocean, and how tiring swimming in the ocean was till this past summer. You know, I think the reason I've never, like, the ocean scares the shit out of me. And I think part of the reason that the ocean scares the shit out of me, and the reason that I don't think I'd ever swim in the ocean, is because I grew up in Texas with my parents constantly pounding into my head anytime we go down to, like, Galveston or whatever and swim in the Gulf of Mexico, was that, like, you know, rip current, you know? It was essentially that they would just pound my head with, like, the sea is constantly looking for an excuse to grab you, child, and snatch you away from us. And I'm just kind of like, oh. Alright, well, maybe I won't go out in any water that's deeper than, like, my waist. Sure, I mean, I've got, I don't know if you want to call it fear or respect, but I fear-spect the ocean too much to go out swimming in it. It just, I am so absent-minded and daydreamy that whether it's a massive underwater animal or the tides of the ocean itself, I could see me not paying attention and then suddenly finding myself in a compromised situation. It's also the same reason.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
It's also the same reason I would be leery. It's also the same reason I would be leery about ever going. Oh, I would have liked to have used that to move this one out of there. Oh, you rat bastard! You don't get me twice. It's also the same reason I'd be super leery about like going into the woods by myself. I could see me getting into my head about like, I wonder how many combo moves I wonder how many specialty moves I can remember from Street Fighter 2. Thinking about that for an hour and then realizing not only do I not know where I am in the mountains anymore, but also I've gotten too close to this mountain lion's cubs. And the only reason I've snapped out of this fantasy is because Mama Mountain Lion is pissed. I'm scared that something will eat my leg in any water that I can't see into, but it's so much fun I get over it. I like lakes. I like cold lakes. Cold lakes don't have venomous snakes in them. Or at least they shouldn't. And they don't have like big fuck off sharks. B Perry, tier 1, 52 months. Thank you so much. 52 months, holy crap. Slowly inching towards 5 years sub. I don't like water around my eyes or nose. I have an inner ear problem. Yeah, that would make it rough. Yeah, having the occasional seaweed drag your leg is like, yeah, there's definitely a part of me when I'm walking in the water on the coast that I just never really got acclimated to hitting either vegetation or feeling something skitter underneath my toes. It's like, I'm okay. One second. I'm not daydreaming, but my rule is if I'm drinking at the beach, I'm staying on the beach. I can't remember the last time I was sober at a beach. Oh yeah, I mean, that's super fair. If I'm like drinking in the mountains, then I'm staying put at camp. I've never actually had a drink on the beach before. I've never had alcohol at the ocean, or, well, that's not fair. I've had alcohol at like a beach house, but I've never had alcohol like at the beach. There are too many things in the ocean that don't want me there, and I don't have the anatomical features that make me work correctly in the water, so I agree with them that I also shouldn't be there. You know what? You know what's funny, Hods? Is that if I was scuba diving, I feel like it would be a whole different story. I genuinely believe that if I were to put on a tank and be down there with some other people, I can readily see, observe, and to a certain extent reasonably react to what I see underneath the surface of the ocean. I think being able to see what's going on. Ooh. I think being able to see what's going on.
Of the newest denizen of the cave.
But beneath my tootsies makes a tangible difference to me. Something touches me and I can't see it, then I'm weirded out. Something swims up to me, even if I know it's mildly dangerous, but it'll probably just go away if I go like that. I'm a lot less prone to panic, you know? It doesn't bother me at all if I'm swimming around in a lake and I see fish or turtles or whatever. And I don't think, to a certain extent, depending on, you know, what the atmosphere was like in the water, I don't think if I was swimming on a reef and I saw, you know, eels and the occasional shark and I was just like, oh, fucking... I think I'd genuinely be okay with that. But in that same setting, you just take me up to the surface and put my head above water, and now all I can see is ocean glitter, and I just know that exact same scenario is playing out, but my ability to see and react to it has been removed from play. Now I'm freaking out. Taffy wants to see all the trash and condoms in the water. You fucking trash the oceans. I'm never going there. It doesn't matter to me. Sheka Prime Gaming 19 months. Thank you, Sheka, so much for the Prime Gaming sub. Obviously, I don't mean that, but I feel too good to be... I feel too good to listen, if I'm not going underwater in the ocean right now, that I'm not diving face first into D's sea of pessimism and cynicism. I'm finally feeling good for the first time in a week. The last thing I want to do is be like, hey, I heard you were on the mend. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Here, let me fix that. Thanks, D. Happy Wednesday to you, too. Scuba diving is amazingly relaxing even with some huge fish. So relaxing. Skydiving is incredibly chill despite the initial freak out. Bungee jumping, fucking terrifying. Incredible but terrifying. I would do most of those things. Bungee freaks me out. Bungee freaks me out more than skydiving. Because I just feel like skydiving is I feel like skydiving is so, if you get it wrong, you're just fucking dead. And bungee is too, but like, because it's from a less... I lived at a bridge where bungee used to happen a lot. And I just feel like there are a lot more bungee accidents than there are skydiving accidents. And I think part of that is just because I think bungee folks... I think it's easier for bungee companies to get lax. I think it's easier for bungee companies to get so lax that they miss something. Skydiving companies, I think, are more terrified all the time. Because if they make a mistake, there's just, you know, all right, win 2 Powerballs in a row type luck for you to survive from a skydive. I tried to save him. You guys all were witnesses. And scuba diving is just kind of like, you know, I would never go alone. I'm gonna be down there with people who know what they're doing. And again, if I can see what's going on, then I don't feel as apprehensive about stuff. Oh, I would never go cave diving. Spelunking? Fuck that, dude. No. Ooh, I grew up in the mountains. Caves are like our Everest. You hear stories all the time about like, oh, if you go far enough down this cave, you start seeing skeletons we use as markers. That's like the bodies littering Everest, where you're just like, oh yeah, down there, there's a, down there about 1,000 feet down this cave, there's the body of a prospector named Billy. Billy lost his footing one day and plummeted almost 800 feet down this shaft, and his body's still down there. And I'm like, no, fuck all that. Billy learned, so I didn't have to. Thermal, thank you for the gifted sub to Kizzle. Memed on your girl, welcome back. Would you be interested in coming to my work Christmas party? Apparently we're having a poker tournament to determine our extra bonus this year, and I need your help getting more money to give you. I miss playing poker. I am bummed out that there genuinely was a time where I thought that Monkeyism and I were going to get paid a bunch of money to travel and play poker for Unibet, and then the pandemic hit. I was gassed up for that. There's an interesting map of the United States and missing persons in the U.S. Oh, okay. That's, nope. I'm okay. I don't need that right now. Would you go into those commercial caves? Describe it to me? These are terrible items. What's Anna's poker face? Is it chaos? Yes, it's absolutely chaos. She's like Harley Quinn. The thing that I took away from Monkeyism playing poker at that table for Unibet was that I think people underestimated her as the pretty face at the table. But then at one point, she was talking to someone in English, didn't miss a beat, turned around to another guy and started speaking to him in French, and then didn't miss another beat and turned around and started speaking to another player in Russian. And then cleaned a guy out. I mean, like, she beat him at poker. She didn't, like, blow him under the table. It's Anna. I feel like I have to clarify these things. There was one moment where she was playing and she I think she had basically put either herself or some dude all in. This doesn't get better. Okay, it's all poker related. So she had put one of the other players at risk, and all of his chips are in the center of the table. And it's a weird beginning of a song. She had put this dude at risk, and all of his chips are on the line. His tournament life is at stake. And she's sitting there, and it looks for a split second like maybe she's doing math, or maybe she's working out the statistics in her head. And then she sees that the camera is looking at her, and she turns and just shoots it a very casual, very sexy wink. And the announcers for Unibet lost their minds. And according to Monkeyism, after that little tournament that they did, they came to her and said, "We'd like you to come to all of our tournaments, and what friends do you have who might have the same effect on the audience? What other charismatic friends do you have do you think would whip people up into a frenzy and get them like choosing sides and hanging out in chat?" And she was like, "I know a guy." Time, what's going on? Time of V hopes all of you beautiful souls are safe and well. Missouri has a few basically guided tour of a cave. Yeah, no, Kizzle, I've done that. I've gone on like guided tours of like underwater ice caves and stuff like that. Guided tours is fine. I'm talking about like legitimate spelunking where it's just like, well, we've got a map, but we have to rely on ourselves and our caving abilities to handle this. I wouldn't do that. Framery says, is there a clip of that? I bet you if you go to Unibet's most viewed clips of this year, you'd find it. It'd be up there. If I had to guess. Based on my understanding of the horniness of the internet, I would work under the assumption that Anna's wink to the camera during an all-streamer tournament. Oh, that was 2020. You'd have to go to the most viewed clips of 2020. Shorshack Tito, welcome back. Didn't Taffy also post it to Twitter? I might have. I think somebody might have pulled it as a GIF. But you'd have to go all the way back to 2020 to find it. They were set to have like Monkeyism jumped into Discord and said, "How are you with international travel?" And I was like, I long for the days that I can get back on the road internationally. Why? And she was like, "Do you miss poker?" And I was like, I long for the days that I can play poker. Where is this going? She was like, "Would you be at all interested in potentially going to Malta, Dublin, or London this year?" And I was like, "Anna, I feel like you're emotionally edging me. Like, please get to the point." Oh, you found it. Very nice. This fucking girl, man. Oh, God. My cosmic sister. My cosmic sister, man. That girl is the same kind of... has the same sort of chaotic neutral energy that apparently makes me fun to have at parties, or in the same, apparently makes me fun to have at parties, or also, like, I once made an Uber driver laugh so hard that he had to pull over because he was worried he was going to get us in an accident in Boston. So now every time Heather and Nate go for a ride somewhere, they're like, Taffy, do you want to come with us to dinner? And I'm like, I just ate. And they're like, do you want to just ride with us in the Uber? And I'm like, why? Because you're very funny and we like seeing what you do to the Uber drivers. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that every time. Who won the hand? She did. But of course
This is
she
the story
did.
of the newest
She did.
denizen of the cave.
Yeah, that was the genuinely they came to Anna and they're just like, come to all these tournaments and also bring your friends. And so I was in the process of telling Amber that she might lose me for like a month out of the year to international travel, and then COVID shut the world down. An anonymous gifter hit up Lisa with a tier 1 sub. Thank you, anonymous gifter. I appreciate that. Emotional edging, that's good. Gonna have to save that in my back pocket. That's what I was to Hods. I was talking about that with Amber. Hods says it's crazy to think it's almost 2022. I feel like we're still grinding our way through 2020. I feel like we're still grinding our way through 2020, but we're about to start 2022. And I just don't understand. Time was confusing to me before, but I genuinely am at a loss right now for it like I said, it's hard for me to say and understand in my own brain. I've never been in my 40s and not been dealing with COVID, and I'm almost 42 now. Yeah, it just feels like one long 2020, and I know that's a tired joke and a tired comparison, but we're all tired because we've all been saying it for so fucking long now, because it just continues to be true that just this whole thing is just dragged on forever. Taffy, remember when we were joking about how 2020 was the longest decade? We are willing it into existence. It feels like it. It's just nothing's changed really in the last 2 years. I'm planning on international travel this year, but I mean, even then, it's international travel into a world post-COVID. Well, not even post-COVID, but post-COVID's existence, you know? So, like, wherever I go, I'm gonna be, you know, masking myself up, trying to stay away from people as best I can, like all that jazz, as opposed to, like, cons in the before time where I would just hug everybody. I haven't looked up politics or even listened to NPR in the morning in the shower since the Republican Youngkin won the election for governor here in Virginia. I got so disheartened. I watch the morning news on CBS while I play Marvel Strike Force in the morning. And it basically catches me up on what I need to know. Otherwise, I've gone back to listening to stand-up comedy in the shower and have for 2 months now. And it has drastically improved my mental health. I just can't bring myself to go back to constantly, you know, giving myself daily updates. It makes me too sad. So I have absolutely been there. I get just enough of a drip. I get just enough of an informational drip in my, like, Twitter feed. That I get kind of a finger on the pulse read of everything. Otherwise, I just leave it alone. I would love that if there's another... Hey, well, okay. Well, shit.
puberty.
It's not bad. And then this is a vert pill. That's so great. Speed up's even better, actually. I'm gonna do it like that. Yeah, I'll go out and I'll vote. I'll still carry a passion for me for doing and changing and fixing the things I actually have agency over, but just got too tired of carrying the weight of the downfall of humanity on my shoulders every single day. That sort of eternal rage was burning me up from the inside. Currently making myself a bacon cheeseburger frozen pizza for breakfast in the oven. It's delicioso, so it's tasty. That sounds awesome. I am daydreaming about how in an hour and a half I'm gonna rock through some leftover Bonchon. And that's gonna be very exciting. Holy Cat! Welcome back. This is a weirdly shaped room. Ooh, I should have been hit there. It's a tough room without, like, flight or spectral tears. Keep working myself into the corner. I don't think I should. Should be trying to work myself sort of on this center line here. Oh. This game's cutting off my escape routes. Fine. Regerts. I got a few. We only have to get through this floor, so I'd probably just hightail it. This should be our 5th daily win in a row. Well, I don't know if it's got to be 5 days in a row or 5 daily wins in a row. Either way, we'll have won 5 in a row, I believe. What am I doing? I don't need to be in here. I will peek this boss trap room, though. I'm not that worried about being fast. What am I doing? Taffy, you're hurting me with your ability to, or inability to navigate this floor. Go around.
Someday, Bumbo, lucky Bumbo, someday the Bumbo's a bad Bumbo. He get coin, and Bumbo lose coin. He gets it, he lose it, and Bumbo want coin. Bumbo got coin. Oh, Bumbo got coin.